Hi, my name is Mariana and I'm going to show you how you can create your online store with Jumpseller. On the landing page, you will find a button that says Create Your Store. After clicking on this button, you will be automatically redirected to a form. The first part of this form asks for basic store information, for example, the name of the store. In this example, we will choose Prestige Cosmetics, but this name can easily be changed and I will show you later on in this video how you can change it. After that, we need to fill out the email and also create a secure password. The second part of the form concerns the color of the admin panel of your store. So Jumpseller provides three options. We have a dark theme, a light theme, and a blue theme. Here we will choose the light theme and move forward to the next step, where we are asked whether we have any experience selling online. Here, the difference between choosing yes or no is that if you don't have any experience and you click no, you will get emails with information about how to create an online business and other types of educational content. So in this case, if you don't have any experience, we recommend selecting no. Now it's time to define which products we will sell. Taking into consideration the name we chose for our store, I will select beauty and healthcare. Below we have this box. If we select it, our store will be created with demo products. These products will serve as examples. So once we start uploading our own real products, we already have these demonstration products as guides to follow, and we can check them in case we have any doubts or if we want to check any fields. The final question is about which platforms we are planning to sell on. Here we will check all of them. And that's it, we have reached the end of the form and we are ready to begin. After creating your account, you will now be able to access your store's administration panel. Right at the start, you will find a list of steps to get started with. We always recommend following the order that is presented in this list, but for the purpose of this video, we will move ahead to the preferences section. As I said in the previous step, it's very easy to change the name of your store. You can do it in this exact page. And as you can see here below, there's a preview of the search results, and you can see that the name of the store and also the description that you define in this section is the information that will be shown on Google search results. This means that you should try to use keywords related to your business and also create a very simple but objective description for your store. In this example, the description that I will create is: come in and compare the best cosmetic products for men and women, nationwide shipping, pay with cards, buy now, pay later, PayPal, Stripe, and more. Here, as you can see in the first sentence, we are letting visitors know what the store is about in a very simple but direct way. And then I decided to highlight payment methods just because it usually generates trust in the brand. So if customers are checking your store for the first time and they have not heard of your brand before, having some payment methods presented that they know and trust will also increase trust in your own business. Below you will find the analytics section. Google Analytics Tracker is the tool that we fully recommend using because it allows you to get access to important data. For example, when customers go to your store, what are the products that they are searching for before clicking on the store? There's also a field dedicated to Google Customer Reviews ID, which is another Google tool. During your initial steps, this tool is not as important, but it's here and it's also available in case you want to use it. TikTok and Facebook ID both serve to track the behavior of customers inside your store, and below each of these fields you will find links that we recommend checking because they provide more detailed information regarding each tool. You will see here that the customer login section is disabled by default. This means that customers are not required to be registered in your store in order to make a purchase, but you can change this option to adapt it to your store. Then we find some options that are a bit easier to understand, so I will continue further down. The last section is related to spam protection. So for example, it prevents contact forms from being filled out by bots to send a potential virus. We always recommend keeping this option enabled, but it's up to each store to decide whether to enable it or not. On the right side, we have the social media section where you can fill out the usernames for each of your social media accounts. In the Instagram section, you will need to fill out the login credentials. And this would be the general configuration of the store, and now we will move on to the products. So in our case, in the initial form, we selected the box related with demo products, and here is where we will be able to find them. If we click on one of them, we can see a model for the completion of all these fields. Let's choose one of the demo products already created, and taking into account the product image, we will change this product's name to Lavender Face Cream, Cinnamon and Coconut. We will also create a category titled Face. On the right side, we have the featured product box, which, when enabled, the product will appear highlighted on the landing page as well as in other sections of the store. We will also create a description for our product. So for this example, facial cream directed towards men and women with delicate skin. If you prefer, there's also the option to generate a description using AI based on the details of the product. If you choose to use this feature, you should always review the final description generated and edit it if necessary. Through the options above this field, you can also upload a video, edit the text with bold, underline, add bullet points, and much more. Below the product images, there's also a button to upload more images. Now let's define a price. The cost field is not shown to the customer, so the purpose of this field is to give a sense to the store owner of how much margin they are getting from a product. In the stock section, you should write down the respective stock or select infinite stock if it's applicable. Below, it's the back in stock notification. When enabled, this allows customers to be notified by email when a product that was out of stock is available for purchase again. Then you need to choose whether this is a digital or a physical product. The difference is that digital products include, for example, ebooks or tickets to events. So basically products that don't need to be physically sent to the customer. You can just upload them here and then the file will be sent to the customer. For physical products, you need to set the package format, weight, width, height and length of the package. Just to be clear here, we aren't defining the size of the product itself, but the size of the packaged product, so when the product is fully ready to be shipped. The SKU is the reference that your business defines for the product as a way to identify it. So in this example, I will write down cream 001, store 02. On the brand, let's write prestige, and then the barcode is the unique product code. To understand this better, let's imagine that I'm selling an iPhone 13. When people are searching on Google for iPhone 13, the order in which the products are displayed is related with the price of the product and also the shipping conditions. However, for Google to confirm that this is an actual iPhone 13, it will also use this SKU code information. That's why we recommend, if you are selling a product that has a barcode, that you insert it here. The purchase conditions feature does not apply to all products. Basically, it allows you to define a minimum or a maximum quantity of products that need to be purchased. The product options are added in case the product has variants, for example, color or size. Later on, I will show this to you. The personalized fields are where we can display additional information if necessary. So let's suppose I sell products that have specific expiration dates and I want to display the date next to the product. In this section, I can create a label called expiration date and then select text input. And on that field, I will write 10th of January 2025. Let's save the changes we made, and now we can see that next to the product a label will appear with the respective expiration date. Attachments are files like PDFs that are available for visitors to download. For example, in case you sell food products, some additional information regarding allergies might be necessary, so this is where you would upload those files. Finally, we can preview how the product will appear on Google search results. The redirect option allows you to personalize the product URL. In this example, we will choose keywords related with the product, so it would be, for example, cinnamon coconut cream. Now, instead of editing an already existing product, let's create a new one from scratch. Let's start by adding an image, choosing a name. I will write down makeup palette and creating a category called makeup. Now on the description field, let's suppose there are 3 types of palettes, so let's write earth, cold and shiny colors. And let's click on generate text. You can notice here that this AI tool uses words that encourage customers to act. For example, dive, embrace, explore. We encourage the use of these types of words. However, as always, it's important to review the generated text and remove any unnecessary information. Let's keep the basic information and go to the product options section. Here we can write down palette style, and on the options field, earth colors, cold colors and shiny colors. As you can see, for each different palette style, a variant has been created. Now we will create another product option called size and define normal and XL options. What will happen now is that the number of variants will multiply by 2, because for each of the 3 colors there are now 2 different sizes, which makes 6 variants in total. Now we can remove the size option to simplify this example and set the stock for each color variant. By clicking on show full results, we will be able to edit more information. The compare at price field allows you to enter another reference price for the comparison, which could be, for example, the price that the product has had in the past, which will show that the product is currently discounted. The cost is the field I explained earlier, that is only visible to the store administrators and gives an idea of the margin. You can also add more images here at the top. Now let's save our changes and see the result. Here we can see the price of the palette, which is 10 euros, and then crossed out the compare at price that we defined before. We also have different variants relating to the style of the palette we had created, and by clicking on them, the information will change according to the palette. So for example, the price and the photos will change. Below the product description, there's a button to share the product on different social media platforms. Now let's explore the categories section. So far we have created 2 categories, one which is called face and the other one called makeup. Each of these creates a collection of products, so a page that groups together all the products that belong to that same category. In the case of face, our product page would display all the products within the face category, and the same would happen with the makeup category when we open the page for this specific category. By opening the page, we can see tool labels on our product, new because the product was just added recently, and 9% off, taking into account the value we had stipulated in the compare at price field. Now let's configure the navigation menu. Especially the main menu that appears at the top of the page. Let's take a quick look at the main menu. As you can see, it contains the contact and the blogs tab, and for this example we are going to delete the blog. Instead, we're going to add the face and makeup categories. Let's save the changes, and now we can see the categories in the main menu in our store. We can change the order of these items. For example, if you drag the face and makeup to the top and then save it, you'll see that the order of our page has been changed. Now when you click on makeup, we will see all the products in that category, face the same thing, and on the contact page information, we have a form that is created by default when you create your online store. When you go to the branding section in the settings, you can see how different pages of the store look. So for example, the checkout, the reviews page, and the preview of the emails. In the icon on the right corner, we can switch between desktop and mobile. Here we can define the main color of our store. In this case, the default color is black. We can also load the logo of our store. It's important to keep in mind that the name of the logo file should also include the name of the store. We can also upload the favicon, which is a small icon that appears, for example, in the tabs of the navigation windows here in my screen. You can see that next to the title Prestige Cosmetics, there's a Jumpseller logo in a small size. This image is what we call a favicon. Finally, the cover. The cover is the image that appears, for example, when we share the store link with someone on WhatsApp. So if we share a specific product, the preview image will be the image of that product. But if we share the landing page of our website, the image we are going to see is the one we upload here as the cover. After saving, we can already see the favicon and the cover image. If you want, there's also an option to choose the font family for your checkout page to match your brand style. Let's move on to the themes in our gallery, which are very easy to edit and adapt to different types of products. You can install different themes and adapt them, for example, to a specific time of the year. Once installed, to change the theme, you just need to click on Apply. To customize themes, click on Edit or click on Visual Editor in the left menu. This menu is divided into a header, then we have some elements that we call components, and then the footer. We can edit the components shown individually or add new ones. In this example, we're going to add the testimony component. In the quote field, we'll write trustworthy products, no complaints. And in the author field, Mary Jane. We can also add an image, for example, the image of the product related to this testimonial. We can preview this change on our page. On the section title, let's put our customer comments and define the number of columns to show. We can also add sliders. As you can see, at the top of the page, there's a carousel with 3 placeholder slides that alternate between them. Let's customize one of them inside this carousel. We need to upload an image and we can write alternative text. This text is very useful because search engines take into account all the information on a page, including this alternative text. This text is also useful for people with impaired vision. Their adapted software has this description instead of displaying the image, and it's also possible to edit the text that appears above the image, among other things. We're going to do the same thing for the second slide. If we click on Explore Free Images, we get a list of images that can be used for free in our store slides. In this example, we're going to hide the second slide and just keep the first one. The trust bar component is very useful to provide important information. In this case, we have open 24 hours, help desk, guaranteed quality, and more. We can change this content and write down, for example, nationwide shipping via CTT and DPD, and adjust the number of locks. If we drag and drop the other components, we can easily change the order in which they appear on the page. We've just edited the home page, but the other pages all work in a very simple and very similar way. Let's just edit the header slide before saving. Now let's take a look at when the store is created. By default, it also automatically creates the domain, which in our example, the domain is prestigecosmetics.jumpseller.com. However, to get better results on Google, we always advise you to have your own domain, as in, instead of prestigecosmetics.jumpseller.com, for example, you can use prestigecosmetics.com or .pt. So this is where the domain management comes in. Just click on add domain and type in the domain you want to buy to confirm whether you can buy it or not. If you already have a domain name, you can also register it here and associate it with your store. In this example, we're going to write coca-cola.pt, and obviously if we click on search domain, it will appear that Coca-Cola already belongs to someone. And then if you click on I own this domain, instructions will appear to connect the domain to your store in case it's really your domain. These instructions are very technical, so if you have any difficulties, we always advise you to contact our support team. If you already have an email service with a domain, you can also ask our support team to take care of this configuration. If you don't have an email service with a domain, you can buy one directly on Jumpseller. In the case of Google Workspace, we offer a discount on the price if you buy a corporate email directly through Jumpseller. To buy the email, you first need to link a credit card to your account, and then you can click here to find out how much this service will cost per year or per month. And it's always cheaper to buy here instead of directly on Google's website. Now let's look at the checkout process. For example, I'm going to go to my store and add a makeup palette to my cart and click on proceed to checkout. The action form you see is customizable. We recommend that you put only the necessary fields to simplify this whole process. In the checkout menu, let's click on Preferences and analyze the options. The first section has to do with what happens after the customer adds the product to their cart. There are three options. The customer can continue on the same page where the product was added. The customer can be automatically redirected to the shopping cart or redirected to the checkout. The best option will always depend on the type of business you have. For example, if it's a store that sells courses, customers usually only buy one course at a time. That's why it makes sense to automatically redirect the customer to checkout. But for example, if your store sells makeup, customers are more likely to want to add more products to the cart, and in that case it would be best to keep the customers on the same page. Then we have two versions of checkout. We always recommend the second one. The first one allows more options, but it requires a lot of technical knowledge. Let's keep some of the simpler settings until we get to the checkout availability hours. This option applies, for example, in case you are selling fresh food as something that must be shipped immediately. We can activate availability hours here and define that from 9 in the evening onwards we will no longer accept orders. The following options are related to marketing strategy. Manual cross-selling suggests additional products that the customer might be interested in buying. And the smart cross-selling feature, available with the plan Advanced, fetches data from your store's order history, and from there it will automatically suggest a list of extra products that customers usually buy together. To illustrate the manual cross-selling, let's select here Earth Makeup Palette, and now we will see that our recommendations will appear as something extra that clients can buy or add to their cart. The abandoned orders section refers to orders that go through the checkout process but for some reason aren't completed. In this section, we'll define after how long we send an email reminding the visitor that the order has been abandoned. The expiration time for pending orders, such as instant payment, refers, for example, to credit cards, and in this section we can define how long it will take to send a reminder that the order has been abandoned with the possibility of recovering the order. In this example, as you can see, the reminder would be sent an hour later, but as you can see here, you can change it to another option. When it comes to manual payments, such as bank transfers, in this window we define the interval within which the customer has to make the payment. And in this field related to sensitive customer data, you must select the period in accordance with the General Data Protection Regulation. Finally, there are several additional fields that you can either show or hide depending on your needs. There is an optional feature called shipping zones. This feature is useful for cases like ours here in Portugal, where normally shipping within the mainland is relatively inexpensive, but when you need to ship outside the mainland, for example, to the islands or vice versa, the cost is much higher. Shipping zones allow you to create two zones. For example, in this case, we could create a zone for the mainland and then another zone for the islands, and then we could assign different shipping costs to each zone and also different shipping methods. In this case, we're not going to create new shipping zones as to not make the video too long, and we're just going to leave this shipping zone that's already been created by default. Now we're going to set the default shipping prices. The free shipping option is always set, but we can add other shipping methods. In Portugal, we have several shipping companies that are already integrated with Jumpseller. Depending on your country, we have available the most popular methods for each country. For example, in Spain we have MRW, in Portugal we have CTT, DPD, UPS, DHL. You can just select the company you prefer. In our case, we're going to start by defining table rates, which is the simplest way to define shipping fees according to weight criteria. We always recommend that you change the name of the method because this name will appear in the checkout, so it's not very clear if the customer reads table rates. So let's replace it with, for example, express delivery and select the shipping zone we had by default. It's very common for us to have merchants who have contacted our support team to tell us that a carrier charges X amount to go to a certain distance, but then they charge a different amount to go to a different distance. We can define this here. In this example, for Portugal, let's define that in the Porto region, shipping costs will be €5. But if the order weighs more than 10 kilos, then the shipping cost will be €10. And for the other locations, we'll set the cost as €3. There is an option called Use Courier Delivery, which allows, for example, if you have your own truck, to connect that shipping method here. We have a merchant from Braga here in Portugal who sells makeup with the help of her husband, and in this case the husband receives the orders and then the merchant takes the motorcycle and delivers the orders directly to the customers' homes. This option, when activated, allows the merchant through Jumpseller's mobile app to see that she has a new order, and she can mark that the order is on the move to be delivered. And then at the same time, the respective customer will receive an email with a link to follow the order, so they will be able to see the map with the motorcycle on the move to their home. If this is not the case, we can keep this option disabled. Finally, the option to offer free shipping allows you to create some minimum purchase rules so that the customer can benefit from free shipping. For this video, let's delete the free shipping and let's just add a new shipping method. It can be CTT, which is a very well-known carrier here in Portugal. Jumpseller has its own contract with CTT, so we can get special prices for our customers. So these shipping prices will already be associated with our specific contract. Before we start configuring CTT, let's fill in the store location. So here in locations, we're going to fill in our address. This will be used to calculate shipping prices. Let's put Duck Street here, postal code, change the region to Porto, and click Save. And then at CTT and choose the services we want to make available. We always recommend changing the name of the services so that they are more easily recognized by customers. So in this example, instead of 48, I would change the name to 48 hours delivery. Below, we could also set the minimum value for free shipping and other more advanced options. Now let's see in our store the result of what we've just done here. As you can see, the cart still has the saved products that I added earlier. This cart will only expire within a year if the cookies are not deleted. Here we fill in the shipping information, the postal code, and then the city that has been automatically included because our system can estimate the city based on the postal code. Now the shipping costs will appear automatically. I'll choose the cheapest option here and continue to payment. The invoice may or may not be the same address as the shipping address, so there's an option for that as well. And we can now finalize the order. Since we haven't set up any payment methods so far, we will only see PayPal here. Here we manually change the order status to paid and select the order. Within the order details, we have the value of the shipping option chosen by the customer, and now we have two options. We can either choose to fulfill the order manually through the shipping method selected by the customer, or if you know any method that is faster and cheaper, you can also choose it. Now we can go to the shipping labels, where we'll add CTT for the order to be fulfilled. As I said before, we haven't added any payment methods besides PayPal, so let's take care of that now. PayPal is added to all stores because through the email address that is used to create the store, it's already possible to create a PayPal account, as it happens to be super easy to activate. So even if you forget to add another means of payment in the first few days, you will still be able to receive the value of the orders through PayPal. Depending on the country in which the store was created, we recommend different payment methods. For example, here in Portugal we have two of the most popular methods, which are Multibanco and MBWay. Still, you can always choose from all the methods integrated with Jumpseller simply by clicking on Add Method. To illustrate how to add a method, I'm going to use as an example Stripe, and in this case all we need to do is click here on Connect with Stripe. And after creating an account and entering the login credentials, we can go ahead and start accepting payments. For other methods, such as MBWay, it would be necessary to sign up with the company's bank and receive the credentials to be able to put them in these fields. We're going to change the method name here, which appears on the checkout, to Pay with MBWay. There's also a link to the documentation with the steps for opening an account and obtaining the credentials for every method. Once you fill in all the fields, you can activate this method and it will automatically appear at the checkout. Now that we've got the shipping and payment methods in place, if you feel that you're still missing a few things, for example in terms of design, you can always ask our partners who are experts in Jumpseller to create a separate quote according to what you need. You can find all these professionals at jumpseller.com/professionals. Finally, let's deal with the shipment of the order. We have the order we placed a moment ago, and now I'm going to click on Fulfill Order. There are two options, integrated and manual fulfillment. For the manual fulfillment, we are going to choose CTT. In this case, it implies that I'm going to deliver my order manually to a CTT store and therefore receive a tracking number, which I'll put here. I'll select an estimated delivery date and a message, which is optional. Then a fulfillment is created and the customer will receive automatically an email notifying them that the order is on its way. We can always see here that the fulfillment has been placed, and I can also track the order here. The integrated fulfillment is used for integrated shipping services such as CTT. In this case, a list will appear with the shipping costs associated with each option. Now that we have fulfilled the order, we can see the label here and print it. In this case, as it's a manual fulfillment, it won't be associated with any shipping company, but it will still have all the shipping information as an indication. If I had used integrated fulfillment, for example, the label would be certified by the company. Finally, we're going to go ahead and analyze the sales channels that are available with Jumpseller. Jumpseller is integrated with the most popular sales channels. It's possible through Jumpseller to sell, for example, on Facebook or Instagram. Through Google, it's also possible to display the store's products, both through ads and in the product listings in Google Shopping. The same thing with OLX, it creates a connection with it to display your products there, and if customers buy the products there, then the store's inventory will automatically be updated. We also have WhatsApp Commerce, which allows, when a purchase is made, to send messages through WhatsApp with the purchase information and also to start conversations with customers, for example, to clarify any doubts they may have. Finally, through our feed builder, you can also list your products on Amazon, Pinterest, and Quanto Custa to increase your potential customers. That's all. Now the store is ready to be published after subscribing to a plan.